this week's video journal, we're talking about the American business model and the American media. So, a couple of the questions that we were given, I'm going to answer first. So, the first question was, in a democratic society, should news be treated as business first? Why or why not? I don't believe that news should be treated as a business. I think that it would create too much competition between news channels, between various stations, and that it would get in the way of delivering the news to the people in the best way possible. I mean, I think that that is the main job, obviously, of news channels. I also think it could interfere with what news stories would be distributed to listeners. If a news channel is being funded as a business by certain companies, then obviously they're going to try and avoid, negative news about that company where it could greatly affect these people. I mean, if you're being funded by a dog food company and there's something wrong with the dog food, how are these listeners going to learn about the problem? The next question is, what are the benefits and dangers of operating news media outlets as businesses driven by their responsibility to owners to attract audiences and advertisers to bring in revenue and profits? I said the only benefit I could really think of was the possibility for more funding for, obviously, like to get better equipment for the news team and maybe possibly better pay for the news reporters, which is great for them. The dangers that I felt were most important. As I stated before, the framing of stories to benefit the funders of the news channels. Possibility of one news channel becoming a conglomerate could also be a big problem, because then they would be, overtaking all these other news channels, and then there'd only be one company that distributes news, and it's not good because then it's going to be extremely biased. If this company, doesn't want you talking about a certain thing, then you're going to try and avoid it. While, if there was various companies, you could get all of the news if you listen to all of the news channels. The last question was, is the news information you receive biased based on the American model? So I thought I would define the American model first. It is market driven. Its media is typically funded through ad revenue and subscription fees, and its success is determined by the popularity of the content, the audience size, awards, and indirect and direct revenue. And based on this, I believe that the information I received is biased based on this model. As I've been saying this whole time, if a news channel is funded by a company, they're obviously, going to stay clear of negative things about that company, maybe talk more about positive things or things that this company, may also be a part of. It seems that the information that I receive based on this model is, based on what the majority of the population agrees on, and I don't think that's right, because, for example, if I have family in China and there's a natural disaster in China or something like that, if the majority of the public doesn't have family in China, then how am I going to, hear about it? It's not that I won't, but maybe not in the great detail that obviously I'm going to want to. So, yeah.